Welcome to NAR Conference Live, and I'm happy and privileged to bring to you NAR Chief Economist Lawrence Yun. Thank you for being with us today, Lawrence.
Well, thanks for having me, and I'm very happy to be here in San Francisco with over 21,000 or 22,000 Realtor members.
Well, let's just get on with it. How's the market, Lawrence? Where is it going over the next year or so?
Well, we had a 2 years of very nice recovery, roughly speaking, 20% cumulative gain in unit sales over the past 2 years. Furthermore, prices have also risen in double-digit rate. So we are looking at a very solid gain in terms of the dollar volume activity, about 40% over the past 2 years. Going into next year, because we are seeing some decline in affordability. Prices are higher, people's incomes are not catching up. Furthermore, we are in a rising interest rate environment, so that will hurt affordability. So I don't anticipate any further growth in the unit sales. There's a plateauing effect going into next year, but the prices will continue to rise because we still have an inventory shortage situation.
Rising inventory, interest rates. There's a lot of buzzwords out there about 2014. What kind of momentum can realtors expect and brokers expect going into 2014 in the economic sense?
Regarding the economy is is expanding decently. It's not a robust expansion. We have created about 2 million jobs in the past 12 months. One can anticipate something similar. So more job naturally means that it increases the pool of potential buyers, and that will be a very good compensating factor for rising mortgage rates. Rising mortgage rates are negative. Job creation is positive. And another thing that I will be closely monitoring is whether the mortgage underwriting standards begin to loosen up a bit, because mortgages have been performing so well. Banks have been making profits on those home purchase mortgages. So maybe we will begin to see some loosening in the underwriting standards.
We oftentimes with Conference Live get questions fielded from the crowd in the social sphere. We have two of them here, and Linda Fuller from Remax Cutting Edge Realty in Macon, Georgia, and Chrissy Newell in the same neck of the woods both ask, interest rates, will they continue to go up in 2014? What do you expect for them? Where do you expect them to be towards the end of the year? It's kind of the magic question that you get asked all the time, right?
Well, last year it was 3.5%, and also early part of this year. Now it is about 4.2%, so 70 basis point higher. Next year it will be even higher. Some weeks may be some declines. No one can predict precisely on a week-to-week pattern, but the general broad pattern would be rising interest rates because Federal Reserve cannot press on the accelerator forever, and some of the quantitative easing will be tapering going into next year, which means that long-term mortgage rates will be rising. My best guess at the moment is that it will be 5.3% average by year end next year.
Wow. Okay, that's a big difference. When it comes to the political turmoil, it seems to be the new normal that realtors are experiencing right now. Does that have any effect on interest rates or any of the things that realtors should be looking at that affect their business?
Let's hope that it is not a new normal, and we are past that stage. What we saw in the October government shutdown and debt ceiling debate was that during the week and also immediately afterwards, there was little bounces in the mortgage rate, some week going down, other week going up, related to uncertainty. And also given that the U.S. always serves as a global reserve currency, when there is an uncertainty, people want to buy U.S. Treasury, which is counterintuitive that U.S. government is in dysfunction, yet people want to buy U.S. Treasury. But if this continues on and on, because there could be potentially another standoff in January or February timeframe, but let's hope it doesn't take place. And just broadly, globally, we are in a rising interest rate environment. And I think people need to understand that. Not a good news, but historically speaking, even with increases, if people were to say 5.5% mortgage rate, historically speaking, these are very favorable mortgage rates. So I think it will take some time for consumers to change their psychology mindset to say 5.5%, great bargain, but people should anticipate higher rates.
We got to look at history, right? 5% interest rate is still really good compared to history, which is amazing. A lot of questions that I hear a lot online, bubble talk. Double dip recession. Any truth to that?
No, not really, because one looks at all the fundamental metrics of, say, home price in relation to income, home price in relation to rent, and other factors like job creating environment versus job losing environment. Everything suggests that home values today are properly priced. And this is after the 20% run up in prices. So one can say that the recent increases in prices is just to compensate for overcorrection downward. But going forward, the price increases will be more moderate. And let's actually hope that it is a moderate single-digit price growth, because we cannot have consistent cases of double-digit price appreciation while people's families' incomes are not rising. So we do need some moderation in prices. But one way to help the moderation in prices is for additional inventory. And that's where the new home construction can help. Right now, builders are building only about 1 million homes a year. It should go up additional 50% to truly relieve the inventory situation.
New construction, that's something that needs to be looked at, right? I mean, in areas where markets are affected by new construction, it's going to be pivotal into their inventory issues going into 2014, right?
Housing start and the builders will be the key to inventory situation. I think in the coastal regions of the West, where the building activity is much more difficult and trying to obtain permits is difficult, one may begin to continue to see the acute shortage of inventory situation. They're not feeling it right at this moment because we're in a seasonal decline going into winter months. But come springtime, in some localities where they have experienced shortage, they will re-experience that shortage next year.
Right, something to look out for. Let's pivot and end this with success, realtor success. And not many people realize that not only do you guys track economic data, but you also track member data as well. When we're talking about success, what does that mean in 2014 for realtors and brokers?
Well, for realtors, they want to see increased productivity, and the productivity is directly related to the number of hours they work each week. We are finding that people who are working 50 to 60 hours a week, they're doing much better than people who are part-timers, 20 hours or less, naturally. The other factors are education. People with designation or additional education, they are outperforming compared to others. And finally, when we take a survey of consumers, consumers are recommending their realtors to their fellow colleagues and friends and family members. 60% of new clients are obtained through a referral basis, which means that realtors have to serve their client for their long-term interests, and they can anticipate to get that referral over time.
And all this data is available, right? I mean, you put it on your Facebook pages, you SlideShare. Where can people get a hold of this data?
Very good point. The data is accessible. The full report is in the web. I'm not very good with the www/ and all that part, but it is on the realtor.org website. And also, if people wants to get just tidbits of information, we provide the information on Facebook to say, look at the relation between income and education. Mm-hmm.
It's all on the NAR research page of realtor.org. Check it out. Lawrence, thank you so much for everything that you do for NAR and for the realtors and brokers out there.
Yeah, thank you. And it's much happier times for realtor members.
Thanks. This is Conference Live.